First of all, I just want to say it's amazing to see the turnout today. As someone that's lived with an eating disorder since my teens, I wish I had this sort of visibility back then. So thank you so much for showing up today. Now, when I came out as trans, I was asked if I was sure, and I had to justify being trans before eventually being put on a waiting list. A waiting list that 9 years later, I am still on. When I had a severe chest infection, I was told by a medical professional, just take some honey and lemon because antibiotics don't work that well these days. When I was suspected that I had autism and that it was affecting the way that I live my life, I was told by medical professionals to just focus on being trans because I don't need another label. When I first went to a doctor many years ago and said, I have an eating disorder, I was told, no, you don't. You've lost your appetite because you're a bit depressed. I was then put on antidepressants for years unmonitored. And I'm sure I'm not the only one here today that's had to fight to be heard, to be taken seriously, only to be met with gatekeeping, ignorance, the lack of understanding, and the complete lack of empathy. Why must we always have to justify ourselves or beg for help? More recently, I was told by an eating disorder unit they couldn't do anything more for me because I wasn't responding to treatment the way they expected. I asked them who I should speak to when I'm discharged. I was told to find a friend to speak to. Now, whilst you could excuse a medical professional for not understanding gender dysphoria, for not realising I had a chest infection, or that those with late diagnosed autism in adults often experience unique and profound struggles compared to those diagnosed in childhood, you cannot dismiss someone who says they have an eating disorder. Eating disorders are deadly. Not realising, not having the knowledge, and not taking the time to listen to a patient, condemning them to a dark downward spiral is simply not good enough in 2026. Sadly, the healthcare system it needs work, it needs serious reform. One size fits all is not the approach. Treatment must be holistic and patient-led. And it's not just about money either. There's always more than one way to spend the same amount of money. Instead, we need something that money cannot buy: the right attitude. The right attitude towards wanting to do better for those with eating disorders. Especially right now, when eating disorder training varies depending on where medical professionals studied, resulting in treatment and waiting times and timescales being a complete lottery across the country. Eating disorders don't discriminate, but our healthcare system can and does. Now, I may be trans, I may be covered in tattoos, I may be a Guinness World Record holder, and my face may even be part of the fourth plinth statue over at Trafalgar Square. But I'm also a wife. I'm a dog mom to a really clingy chihuahua. I'm a second-generation immigrant with very working-class roots. I'm neurodivergent. I'm a person of colour. I'm someone that will always hold the door open for the next person. I'm someone who has a bizarrely strong opinion on whether pineapple belongs on pizza or not. And the truth is, I am much more like all of you than you realise. So let's not focus on individual differences, but on our lived experiences instead. Our lived experiences may not be identical, but they share many similarities and overlaps. On our own, we're left justifying our struggles to anyone who will listen. But together, we are so much louder than that band that walked past. Eating disorders live rent-free in our heads, and we need your help to evict them. That is why this fight for better eating disorder funding, services and awareness must be an intersectional one. We need to speak up for those who can't, and platform those who need to be heard. We all have a privilege, every single one of us, so let's use it. We must be there for one another. The fact that we've gathered here today proves we do care. You have more in common with the people stood around you right now than that which divides you. So check in on people around you. Look out for signs of eating disorders, even if it's in a complete stranger. Let's normalise caring for people in our communities, regardless of who they are to us, regardless of the differences that we may suspect at first. Because when those without a voice are heard, we are all heard. When the most vulnerable in society, the most marginalised, are protected, we are all protected. Together, we need to be the change that is desperately needed in a system that overlooks so many. Thank you.